It is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning here in Southeast Texas, and I thought I would make a little video for you guys to show you how I make my soot for my bird feeding station. It may look like a whole lot of stuff, but this is what I choose to put in it. Okay. Basically, the base ingredients are lard, 1 box, which makes almost 2 cups melted, crunchy peanut butter, the cheapest one you can find, which I find is Kroger's. That is the base of what you're going to make your suet with. Now, I also use a number of different seeds like pecans. Let me get this out of the way. Pine nuts, sometimes. I even throw a few pistachios in. Walnuts. And almonds. And that's only if you want to. I mean, basically most recipes at least have pecans and walnuts in them and peanuts. But I choose to go a little bit farther, and it doesn't take a lot of that. I know some of these nuts like this almond and these pine nuts are pretty expensive. So you're talking about a tablespoonful of them. And my secret ingredient is right there. Mealworms. I also add sunflower hearts, safflower seed. This is quick oatmeal. And I will give you the measurements of those. I put all of my nuts in a baggie and use this little hammer right here to mash them up. You want them pretty fine. You don't want them powdered, but you want them pretty fine. And that's about right where they're at right there. And it looks like a lot of expense, but they're really and truly, that amount right there is gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of a half a cup total of everything. And now that I've shown you the ingredients, I'll show you how we do it. First of all, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. Flour is used as a binder, and so is yellow cornmeal. Very important. First thing you want to do is get you a big bowl that don't have to be stainless. I just like to work with mine in stainless. This is 1 box, which is 2 cups, is what it winds up being. I melt it in the microwave, and I don't get it to where it's boiling. And I started out when I melted in there with 1 cup of the peanut butter, and then I add the other cup once it comes out and it's still warm, and it will dissolve it pretty quick. And then you just pour that into the bowl. Get all that goodness out of there that they like. And you just start mixing your ingredients in. This is a half a cup of sugar. I like to stir it along the way as I put each one of them in there. This is a full cup. It don't have to be exact. This is probably just a little bit more than a cup of oatmeal. Let me move this over here where you guys can see it a little bit better. See what it looks like. There we go. Just stir it in as you go. Next, I like to put in my cornmeal. Again, the cornmeal and the flour are binders. And it doesn't matter if you have wind up with little clumps in there. This is for the birds, and they'll eat that just like they eat anything else. Sometimes, depending on how much it actually turns out to be with the peanut butter, I have to put just a little bit more cornmeal in there to bind it a little better, because you don't want it runny. You're looking for a certain consistency. Now I start adding ingredients. Mixed bag of nuts that are chopped up, not super fine, but fine enough to where they mix in well. Sunflower hearts. Safflower. And last but not least are the mealy worms. And I can see right now I'm going to have to add some more cornmeal to it because it's not the consistency I'm looking for. When you're trying to dip peanut butter out of a big jar like that, it's tough to get it right on the measurements. So we'll put some more binder in. And again, this doesn't have to be exact. Just that amount of ingredients right there will make a lot of suet that you don't have to buy at a pet store, online, or wherever you've been getting it. Anywhere from $1.79 a block to some of it, like the woodpecker stuff, is I've seen as much as $7.50 a block. A little bit more cornmeal in there. Now we're starting to get down to where I want to see it. Now we're starting to get down to where I want to see it be at. And by the way, when they advertise suet as no melt, there's no such thing. Anything that's got oil or grease-based product to it, like lard, like peanut butter, a lot of oil and peanut butter, you put the right amount of heat to it and it is going to melt. So that no melt stuff is a misnomer. This one is, I guess I got a little bit more peanut butter in there than I thought I did. But the birds, I've already seen this in real time, putting out my stuff on the same log with the store-bought stuff, and they wipe mine out first every time. In fact, I'm going to be taking down my cages and not use those anymore so that I can control the amount they eat every day by using the logs. This is taking a little bit more cornmeal than I really thought it would. That's okay. Cornmeal is not that expensive. I'm still looking for a certain consistency. Now we're getting there. Now we're getting there. And once you get this mixed up, and that you want it thick That's about the kind of thickness you're looking for. It wouldn't hurt to be just a little bit thicker, but it's not that big a deal because once you get it where you want it, with all your ingredients in it. I saved a whole lot of these plastic containers that the store-bought stuff comes in. I just dish it up in there until it's about level. Get it all dished up, set it in the refrigerator for 2 to 3, 4 hours, depending on how cold you keep your fridge. And this will gel in here. And it won't stick to where you can't get it out, because I'm not going to use these in blocks anymore. I just set them up in there to gel. And when I get ready to use it, I'll take a block out, let it sit on the counter for maybe 20-30 minutes. You pull the sides like that away from it, turn it upside down on a paper plate, and it'll come right out, and then you can cut it up and put it into the size balls or whatever shapes you want it in to be able to use it. But it is the way to go. Pennies on the dollar compared to what you pay for this stuff in the store. Plus, this is what I choose to put in. You can put anything in it that you want. You don't have to go with 5 or 6 different kinds of seeds, nuts. You don't even have to put sugar in it. The birds don't know the difference. They love it because the peanut butter and the mealworms is what really seems to set them off. I quit putting mealworms out in a feeder because I could fill a tube in the morning, and by 7 o'clock and by 9 o'clock it was done. And I'm not doing that, they're too expensive. So anyway, that's what you do. You just dish it up in the old plastic container, or what, any kind of container you've got, it really doesn't matter. And I can promise you, with those ingredients in a pet store or wherever you buy it from, those ingredients, that right there would cost you anywhere from $7 to maybe $9 per. And there is nowhere near that total in this whole recipe. So anyway, that's my tip from me to you, and I hope you try it out. I hope, experiment and find out what you like to buy, what you can afford. Some people can't afford a lot of exotic seeds and nuts and all that, but it really doesn't take that much when you put them in that bag and crunch them up. Just a little, what you can hold in your hand of each one of them, and it goes a long, long ways. And that is a fine looking SUET block. So I hope you try it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was my pleasure bringing it to you. And we'll see you on the channel. Bye now.